Hello there guys, we did it! We did it! I've made a 35 million score in Scramble, and in this video I will explain it to you. How I did it, what are the best maps, buffs, debuffs you should look for, as well as my loadout and some other information, so stay tuned. With that being said, let's start the show, shall we? After my 20th or so attempt at this challenge, we got to 35,564,490 score points, which placed me around top 10 in the world, which is awesome, to be honest. My loadout was pretty simple: stone staff with secondary explosion, a flamethrower with longer burn, a mana rate trinket with max mana, acid geyser with longer duration, butterflies with arcane damage, Sublet Launcher with bleed, briar patch with increased damage, lasers with additional lasers, barricades that varies between singles and doubles depending on your map, which is better and saves you more money. That's what you go for. Ice dart spitters, also switching between Jar of Ghost, also depending on the map. When you don't have low enough ceiling, the ice darts are pretty shit, so Jar of Ghost is the way to go there. And we play as Cygnus, of course. This loadout has a potential of ×80 combo counter, which, when executed right, of course. But I did not aim for as high combo as possible on this loadout. I was aiming for a loadout that will give us not only a pretty high score, but a consistent combo counter. And for those who don't know, the combo counter is the main way of getting score in Orcs Must Die. So, as for our loadouts, we have stone staff with ×3, with physical damage from primary, and stoned as well as ragdolled effect from secondary. Flamethrower is, my opinion, the best way to apply consistent fire and burn effect, which is, of course, another ×2. Mana Rage and Cygnus are here only to keep us and our mana pool really high as we can. As I mentioned before, it's only because we want to make a consistent combo counter at all times. Acid Geyser is another ×2 with acid damage and melt effect, and I picked a longer duration due to possibility to affect more enemies upon activation, not just affect like 2 to 3 people and stay on them longer. That's not really much of a choice here. Butterflies are ×2 with confusion and arcane damage, and for as long as I can make it, this is my weakest trap in this loadout. It affects maybe 3 to 6 enemies at a time. It has kind of a long cooldown as well. I hope the next DLC, if we ever get one, again, will give us another War Arcane source. It will be awesome. And next we have Sublet Launcher, which is another ×2 with physical damage and bleed. But the beauty of this trap is that with a good placement, really good placement, it can affect a lot of enemies, and it's very consistent with all the debuffs from our loadout, so it can help us really destroy the very heavy enemies. So this trap by far is the MVP of this loadout. Briar Patch is another ×2 combo with slow and physical damage. We are using it instead of Tar to give us some type of CC. I know this trap is a bit expensive for one tile trap, but it's consistent, it's easy to use, and sometimes the first like 2 to 3 waves it can spread, so you can really have a bit more power with only spending 1000 coins. Lasers, another one of the best traps in the game, are another ×2 for us. Electric damage and electrified status effect. No need to explain. Great trap, versatile, consistent, one of the best in the game. Moving on. Ice Dart Spitter is another ×2 with ice damage and freeze status effect. Great CC, great damage, great trap. And of course the barricades. They only help us to set our kill boxes, so we can use all of our traps together. Pretty damn neat. All that give us around ×17 combo multiplier. Sometimes I saw ×18 at my challenge days, so maybe there was some kind of overlap, or maybe buffs and debuffs made it so. I don't actually know, but ×18 is perfectly possible with this loadout, so don't worry about it. So now let's talk about tiers, maps, buffs, all that good stuff. So tier 1 debuff is the most important, since you have full control over it. You can just reset, scramble and over and over and over and over again. And with that being said, I strongly recommend going for double Orcs HP debuff for those who want the nice bit of score into it. For those who are just starting out, this debuff will make it a lot harder for the first wave, so I recommend starting with a bit easier, like for example Zalzador or maybe archers. I will make another tier list and tutorials for the beginner players so they can do the 5 million achievement or maybe get to 10 to 15 million score just for themselves. So this tutorial is coming. I don't know when exactly, but it will come, so stay tuned. In here, however, we want as much score as possible, which is hard, and since you have full control of this tier, I will recommend Cliffside as your first map. I know, shocker, right? This map of Warmage's difficulty, which is the difficulty you are playing the first 3 maps, is the best for score, easy to set up kill boxes, easy to connect enemy spawns, easy to protect the rift, and a lot of enemies, especially on waves 6 and 7. So I strongly recommend this map. But if you don't like Cliffside, don't worry, you can always pick Split Stairs or Untrained Grounds, are also nice choices. They are maybe a bit harder to manage, plus Untrained Grounds require a lot of money for Kates or 2 kill boxes to work. For buffs, of course, aim for money, then cooldowns, then utilities. For example, the best buff in the game, in my opinion, is only on tier 1, so only after the first map you can get it, and of course it's 4,000 coins at the start of the map. If you can get it, your best chances are cheaper traps, money from headshots or less mana of your weapons, and then of course cooldowns if nothing else works. For tier 2 your control starts to be minimum. The best map for this tier are Coastal Hallways, of course, but if you didn't get it, other maps are good, like Slot Shelves or Secret Fortress. These maps are also pretty nice. For the debuffs, avoid increasing cost of traps or immunity to ice and fire, or Crag. Anything else you can live through depending on your map and loadout and skill you have. For the buffs, same principle, focus on buffs that can give you money, then spend maybe less mana, or give you more mana, or give you cooldowns, all that stuff. But do not ever, maybe if you don't have any other choice then fine, but don't get more damage for anything. The point of getting score is killing enemies with a big amount of effects on them, as big as possible. And when you increase damage of basically anything, these chances lower significantly because the enemies will just die faster, so that's not really a great choice for you. Tier 3 is a war scenario and the last map of Warmage difficulty. Here's the game of Dragon Boneyard or Order Temple. Really, they both can get you from 10 or 11 to even 17, 18 million score when done right. But in my opinion, Dragon Boneyard is just a little bit better since you can make enemies go around the map and then into kill box at much slower pace than Order Temple, which gives our traps time to reset, you mana to regenerate, and you get more kills with all traps working together, which is the principle of getting score here. For debuffs, this is the most dangerous tier for score gaining Scramble at least, since in here you can get all of the immunities, and of course immunities equals no combo counter or damage source or effect source from those elements. Best case scenario, increased enemy aggro by 3 is the best debuff you can get because it's not really doing anything if you're not meleeing, and you're not meleeing if you're going for score, so... But if you're left with no choice, more HP or damage or speed for enemies or less speed for you are the most manageable ones. For the best buff, same principle as always. Tier 4 is the first map pool again, but this time on Rift Roll difficulty. So again, I recommend Cliffside, Split Stairs or Untrained Grounds. For the debuffs, try to go for more enemies, there are a lot of possibilities on this tier. If not possible, then go for more damage or HP for enemies, it's fine, but whatever you do not pick those 3 debuffs. Minus 10 rift points or death. All enemies worth 5 rift points including nulls or more mana usage from your weapons. The other are really fine and manageable, but those 3 can really fuck you up if you don't pay attention which is really, really dangerous. And for debuffs, same placeable as always. And now it's tier 5, and it's again second map pool, which again I recommend Coastal Highways, Secret Fortress and Slot Shelves. Buff doesn't matter since this is the last map, and debuff of course we talked about before. So now you know all you need to replicate my thought process and go for amazing score yourself. Let's now see how I did it. First map of course was Cliffside with double Orcs HP, but that day I wasn't feeling too good. I was feeling a bit off, I wasn't focused at all, I lost really avoidable rift points and we got a bit less score than we could have. Still, we managed to get to our sweet spot, which is 5 million for this map, for the first map. And we picked up a really nice debuff of reducing the cost of all traps by 25%, which is awesome. Next up we got Flat Shelves with Dynamite Archers, which is not that bad, more enemies are quite good on the map. I played this off stream the next day, and to be honest, due to my lack of skill at the first map, I wasn't even trying to do my best, I wasn't even recording. To be completely honest, I just thought this run will go in the toilet, so I didn't really focus on that, but here's what I did for the kill boxes. Pretty much those two Cates, lasers, Sublet Launchers on the sides, Gazers and Briar in the front. Basically, hold this, the other side, some Cates, more Gazers, Briar, lasers, the same principle for all the entrances. I'm so sorry I did not record the slot shelves. If this deems to you my run invalid, because of course I could have cheated, having a limited mana, all that good stuff. If you believe that's what happens, I leave that up to you. We managed to get around another 5 million this map. That placed us around 10 million score. And then we got Dragon Boneyard. But the buff selection was quite awful, so I just added 20 rift points and moved on. And in here, on Dragon Boneyard, we get the best debuff possible, which is aggro cap. To be honest, I was trying to experiment a bit, but this was a really good run all of a sudden, so I didn't want to fuck this up, so I played safe. We managed to get 16 million score on this map, which is awesome. And picked up a reduced cooldowns of for our walls, which is great for butterflies, of course. The next map selection was no-brainer. We took split stairs without even thinking about possibilities. But due to this being Rift Road, this map was already having some cobbled sappers, and I wasn't really feeling good enough to manage that, so I decided to reroll this debuff, which was unfortunate when we got bigger cost for floor traps and... This negates and reduces price for our first buff, so putting our Gazers at 1050 coins each and Briar Patch and 1500 coins each. At this time I was really considering changing Briar to lost cost, which could have saved me around 400 coins, but I decided it's okay, I just use it wisely and we'll be fine. This map went pretty great. I used the stairs for making all enemies and kobolds going the kill box instead of Cates. On the other side you can just place a Cate on the third floor, which makes kobold think that they can get to their checkpoint, leaving the Cates up there alone. Yeah, that's basically it. At the end, even I put my camera to react at my 31.5 million score, and still with one map to go. I've picked a random AoE since it didn't really matter that much from this selection, and then... yeah. I really wanted to cry for a second. I thought this was over, since there is no way in hell I would pick Order Enclave, simply because... you remember. No, my 100%! Motherfucker. This is not a great strategy. I never practiced Order Enclave, because my strategy involved not using this map at all. Oh, I hate flyers so fucking much. Annoying pieces of shit. I hate this fucking map. How did you Are you serious? Fucking how? This map is fucking mistake. Yeah, after rolling the debuff, I got more archers, which is fine. There was a chance. I stopped the recording and waited until the next day I could stream it live. Before the live stream, I've tested few strats, but I just went for the OG strats, plus a bit of a two-wave detour. Check it out. I'm gonna take one lasers off. We need Briar to spread as fast as possible. First thing, we have money, bar of flies for more CC, and first two waves are in here. The rest is, of course, in here. Oh, that's why I fucked up. Oh Jesus, it's fine. It's fine. We can sell this next wave. It's fine. It's fine. You can stop it here. Bye bye. Alright. Thank you for... How much? Come on! Fuck yeah! Woo! God damn! Woo-wee! 35.5 million, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, god damn it! And just like that, we got it. 35,464,990 score. This one wasn't perfect, of course. I think with a better map setup and maybe one more good buff, we could go to 40. But that's for another time. For now, thank you so much for being here. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you later. Have a nice day, and remember, loot first and questions later. Bye!